Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Vishal from Maharaja Agar Sen University, Badi, Himachal Pradesh. Today we are going to talk on module E-Commerce and Entrepreneurship from the paper Entrepreneurship Development and Project Management. After completing this module, you will be able to understand the concept of e-commerce, various approaches of e-commerce, know the advantages and disadvantages of e-commerce, and you will be able to understand the concept with the help of success stories. Students, the past few years have seen a remarkable use of technology in e-commerce, which has today led the e-business companies growing at a rapid pace. Innovation in technology has opened up new vistas for e-business companies interested in offering value-added services. Deployment of technology, improved customer services, and innovative product has brought required competition into the companies. Customers are more conscious for their rights and demanding more than ever before. The pressure on e-commerce companies is to find new ways to create and deliver value to the customers. All kind of businesses conducted by means of computer networks are covered under e-commerce. The advancement in information and technology reshaped the structure of e-commerce around the globe. The information technology has revolutionized various aspects of our life. Competition and the constant changes in technology and lifestyles have changed the face of e-business. With the opening of the Indian economy and current thirst of the Indian government towards privatization, competition is going to be tough. Advancement in telecommunications and computer technologies in recent years has made computer networks an integral part of life. Today, the number of companies which are facilitating transactions over web is increasing day by day. Online commerce provides multiple benefits to the consumers in the form of availability of goods at their doorstep, lower cost, wider choice, and also save time. People can buy goods with a click of mouse button without moving out of their house or office. Students, technology is changing the landscape of entrepreneurship. Electronic commerce has become the buzzword of present day business. E-commerce is the process of doing business electronically or over internet to improve operating efficiencies, which in turn will strengthen the value to be provided to the customer and thereby giving competitive advantage over competitors. It includes business to business, very popularly known as B2B, business to consumer, B2C, and consumer to consumer, C2C transactions that involve the buying and selling of goods and services. If entrepreneurship is innovation, e-commerce adds fuel to the fire. E-commerce is a modern technique that addresses the need of entrepreneurs. It cuts costs while increasing the speed of service delivery. While The e-commerce offers entrepreneurs an opportunity to establish a new business. Entrepreneurs with an established business should also make efforts to increase their online presence. Online presence has the ability to positively impact marketing and sales effort. The entrepreneurs should embrace these channels to discover how the internet can transform and grow their businesses. For example, a local grocery vendor who may be predominantly servicing its surrounding community could expand its customer base across the city by establishing its own website. Approaches of e-commerce. Business to business e-commerce. E-commerce between companies is defined as B2B e-commerce. B2B approach of e-commerce deals with relationships between and among businesses. It takes into account e-procurement, supply chain management, and also negotiating purchase transactions over the internet for the companies. The two main components of B2B e-commerce are infrastructure and e-markets. Infrastructure component of B2B primarily consists of the logistic, transportation, warehousing, and distribution application service providers. E-markets are websites where buyers and sellers interact with each other and conduct transactions. The examples of B2B are IBM, Hewlett Packard, called as HP, Cisco and Dell, etc. The B2B e-commerce lowers transaction costs of conducting business and also helps to make savings in terms of time and effort. Let's discuss some of the approaches of e-commerce. Business to consumer, called as B2C. Business to consumer e-commerce is the second largest, earliest form of e-commerce. It involves business introducing products and services to consumers via internet technology. B2C e-commerce involves customers gathering information, purchasing physical goods, information goods over on electronic network. Online retailing companies such as Flipkart, Snapdeal, FirstCry are the examples of business to consumer model. One of the important benefits of B2C e-commerce is that the entrepreneurs can increase its consumer base with minimum transaction costs. B2C e-commerce allows consumers to find the most competitive price for a product or service. Consumer to consumer e-commerce, called as C2C model. Consumer to consumer approach of e-commerce is concerned with the use of e-commerce by individuals to trade and exchange information with other individuals. C2C of e-commerce is characterized by the growth of electronic marketplaces and online auctions, particularly in vertical industries where firms can bid for what they want from among multiple suppliers. Next approach is B2G approach, called as business to government e-commerce. The online commerce between companies and the public sector is defined as business to government e-commerce. Business to government e-commerce is concerned with the need for business to sell goods or services to governments or government agencies. Such activities include supplying products and services to the army, police force, hospitals, and schools, etc. Next is mobile commerce, very popularly known as M-commerce. M-commerce is the buying and selling of goods and services through wireless technology such as mobiles. M-commerce is a faster, more secure method of choice for digital commerce transactions. M-commerce includes financial services including mobile banking, brokerage services, telecommunications, bill payment, etc. Now let's discuss the advantages of e-commerce. The following are the advantages of e-commerce. Number 1. E-commerce has dissolved all the limitations of geography. With an e-commerce website, the whole world is entrepreneurs' playground. Number 2. The e-entrepreneur can enhance its customer base by reaching new customers through various search engines. Number 3. One of the most specific advantages of e-commerce is the lowered cost. E-commerce entrepreneur need not maintain huge inventories or expensive retail showrooms. Their marketing and sales team is quite less that of physical retail businesses. The part of the benefit of this lowered cost can be passed on to the customers in the form of discounts. Number 4. Customer has now easy access to shopping 24 by 7 by 365. E-commerce websites can run all the time. It increases the number of orders a merchant receives. From the customer's point of view, as always open store is more convenient. Number 5. Consumers have a much wider choice available on the cyber market. On an e-commerce website, customers can click through intuitive navigation or use a search box to immediately narrow down their product search. Some websites remember customer preferences and shopping lists to facilitate repeat purchase. 6. E-commerce facilitates comparison shopping. There are several online services that allow customers to browse multiple e-commerce merchants and find the best prices. Because of wide-scale information dissemination, consumer can compare products, features, prices, and even look up reviews before they select what they want. Next, consumer enjoys wider access to assistance and to advice from experts and peers. There are limitations to the amount of information that can be displayed in a physical store. E-commerce websites make additional information easily available to customers. Next is consumer also avails of fast services and delivery of products and services. They have the convenience of having their orders delivered right to their doorsteps. Number 9. E-commerce, by minimizing costs, enables companies, especially small ones, to make information on its product and services available to all potential customers spread worldwide. Let's discuss some disadvantages of e-commerce. Though e-commerce is widely accepted all around the world, but still it has certain disadvantages which are discussed as under. Return on investment is difficult to calculate. Many firms have had trouble recruiting and retaining employees with the technological design and business process skills needed to create an effective e-commerce presence. Difficulty of integrating existing database and transaction processing software designed for traditional commerce into the software that enables e-commerce. Many businesses face cultural and legal obstacles in conducting e-commerce business. Difference between traditional commerce and e-commerce. Due to the advancement in information technology, many traditional small businesses are considering e-commerce as an attractive and profitable sales channel. However, e-commerce and traditional commerce are different from each other due to many reasons. Some of the reasons of difference are enumerated as below. Direct interaction with customers. Traditional commerce is often based around face-to-face interaction. The customer has a chance to ask questions to the seller, and the sales staff can work with them to ensure a satisfactory transaction. Often, it gives the seller an opportunity for upselling or encourages the customer to buy a more expensive item or related items and increase his business profits. On the other hand, in e-commerce, seller and buyer are not in direct relation. Therefore, it doesn't offer this benefit unless features such as related items or live chats are implemented. Next is lower costs. In e-commerce, seller is not required to set up his physical store in good location for increasing his sales. Therefore, he can avoid certain standing charges such as commercial space rent, electricity charges, etc. Opening an online store can be done at a fraction of the price. This can boost small business owners to start their ventures who do not have the startup capital to rent prime retail space and staff to be able to sell their goods. Next, reach. Within online shopping, you can do business from any part of the world. Unlike traditional commerce, where you are restricted to people who actually come to your shop. This also opens the door to many other forms of marketing that can be done entirely online, which often results in a much larger volume of sales and even foot traffic to the store. An online store has no capability limits, and you can have as many clients as your stock can serve. Goods return. In a traditional commerce, the customer purchases the product in person from the business place, which has some benefits for both of them. The customer will be able to touch and check the items to make sure they are suitable to him, which reduces the number of returned items or complaints due to an item not being as advertised on a catalog or promotional leaflet. But if you start business online in the expectations of higher rate of return, many customers will just order and try the items at home and won't hesitate to return them, as they can do it by post without having direct interaction with seller. Credit card fraud. E-commerce suffers from a major kind of electronic crime, that is credit card fraud. Credit card fraud is also termed as identity theft, in which a person may use the identity of other person for exercising fraud of deception. Therefore, the problem of credit card fraud is serious and occurring by stealing the credit cards and the accompanying information at the time of transaction delivery. While traditional commerce is totally secure, it is easy for seller to verify the identity of buyer by asking him for photographic ID. However, banking sector is introducing new innovations, new kind of products against counterfeiting and fraud, which are highly sophisticated to beating these systems. Selling online means learning new ways of dealing with customers, marketing your products, and fulfilling your orders, but the benefits are great. You can keep your costs lower, reach a wider audience, and do business 24 into 7, having time to focus on improving your products and services and your customer experience instead of being on the store floor waiting for the clients. No doubt, some products sell better online than others. For example, selling jewelry for cash online is much easier than trying to sell houses or cars. However, having an online store can increase the customers on traditional commerce, as well as people are now able to find you online and see what products you are offering. Now, the success story of Snapdeal. Snapdeal set a niche for itself in the sphere of e-commerce in India. In 2010, when Kunal Bahal and Rohit Bansal wanted to start their own business, they chose an offline couponing business and named it Money Saver. 15,000 coupons were sold in 3 months, and it was time to take the business to the next level. It was after they met investor Vani Kola that the venture really took off. The first meeting did not go well, but after another round of discussion, Vani Kola's venture capital firm decided to invest in Snapdeal. Initially started as an offline business, Snapdeal went online in 2010. It was a bumpy ride in the first few months. Mistakes were made, but lessons were learned. It is this kind of hard work and diligent attempt to offer the best to the customers that gave Snapdeal its initial success. However, the biggest decision of the founders came in November 2011. Inspired by the success of Alibaba, Rohit and Kunal wanted to create something on similar lines. The deal's business was shut down and an online marketplace was opened instead. It was a make or break decision. Snapdeal had a huge market share in the deals business at that time, and starting something new was very risky, and the move surprised the investors too. At that point of time, eBay was the only marketplace in India. It was a decision that was not for the short term. When Rohit Behel managed to gain the node of board, the present form of Snapdeal took shape. The very fact that Snapdeal is valued at $1 billion today is a testimony to the vision of its founders. Currently, more than 50,000 sellers sell around 5 million products on Snapdeal. The company's phenomenal growth in a short span has been a remarkable journey. The company began to concentrate on building scale and improving speed. When eBay invested in Snapdeal, they brought immense experience to the table. Snapdeal is one of the fastest growing e-commerce companies in India today, with the largest online marketplace. In just 2 years, the company went from scrapping their group coupon business and starting an online marketplace to become a $1 billion company. Its year-on-year growth is almost 600%. The average age of the workforce at Snapdeal is 25. Their values, innovation, change, openness, honesty, and ownership drive them to press for greater success. The company's growth had been phenomenal, but it is their continued effort to bring the best to the market and their zeal to succeed as the best B2C marketplace is what sets them apart. Great ideas might be important for a business, but it is the confident implementation of those ideas and the right effort which are more important. It is action and not mere thought that gives results. Now let's discuss the another success story of Flipkart. A quick look into any success story shows a path-breaking idea at the heart of the tale. Flipkart is no exception. It is not the idea itself, but the conviction to convert ideas into action and action into results is what defines a true success story. Measured by that yardstick, Flipkart has been a hugely successful. Back in 2007, when Flipkart was launched, Indian e-commerce industry was taking its beginner steps. Sachin Bansal and Binny Bansal, who were working for Amazon, had an idea to start an e-commerce company in India. One can easily call that a risky move. In a country where people have various tastes and preferences, an e-commerce startup will always have enormous challenges. In India, people often prefer to shop in person and buy goods they see and like. Today, thanks to Flipkart, e-commerce has become one of the fastest growing sectors in India. Flipkart began selling books to begin with. It soon expanded and began offering a wide variety of goods. Innovating right from the start, Flipkart has been home to few of the striking features of Indian e-commerce. Flipkart was the first to implement the popular cash on delivery facility, which every online shopping website in India offers as an option today. In the first few years of its existence, Flipkart raised funds through venture capital funding. As the company grew in stature, more funding arrived. Flipkart repaid the investors' faith with terrific performances year after year. In the financial year 2008-9, Flipkart had made sales to the tune of 40 million Indian rupees. This soon increased to 200 million Indian rupees the following year. Flipkart targets to hit the 1 billion mark by 2015. Going by their ever increasing popularity, it does not seem like a far fetched thought. Back at the time when Flipkart was launched, any e commerce company faced two major difficulties. One was the problem of online payment gateways. Not many people preferred online payment and the gateways were not easy to set up. Flipkart tackled this problem by introducing cash on delivery and payment by card on delivery in addition to others. The second problem was the entire supply chain management system. Delivering goods on time is one of the most important factors that determines the success of an e-commerce company. Flipkart addressed this issue by launching their own supply chain management system to deliver orders in a timely fashion. Flipkart's journey from a small book e-retailer to India's largest e-commerce platform inspires a generation of startups. So students, let's now summarize what we have learned in this module. E-commerce is a modern technique that addresses the need of entrepreneurs. It cuts costs while increasing the speed of service delivery. While the e-commerce offers entrepreneurs an opportunity to establish a new business, entrepreneurs with an established business would also make efforts to increase their online presence. Online presence has the ability to positively impact marketing and sales efforts. The entrepreneurs should embrace these channels to discover how the internet can transform and grow their businesses. For example, a local grocery vendor who may be predominantly servicing its surrounding community could expand its customer base across the city by establishing its own website. All kind of businesses conducted by means of computer networks are covered under e-commerce. The advancement in information and technology reshaped the structure of e-commerce around the globe. The information technology has revolutionized various aspects of our life. Competition and the constant changes in technology and lifestyles have changed the face of e-commerce.